Brothers and sisters and family, um, it's been a long time since I've had a chance to do a program with Brother Freddie, and you in for a treat. We're gonna be talking about spirituality. Um, he's had a fantastic experience with the ancestors coming through pots where he used to work in terms of images and things that he would see that relate to our ancient ancestors. And so he's done many of these works, but he also does a thing that's called um, reinterpreting the Bible. I'm going to let you do this, Freddie. What do you call that? That
I, I,
interpretation?
I call it the decoding of the Bible, the revealing of the secrets and the coded words that was presented to us as a people. And it was done in a way that those who wrote the Bible never thought that we would come to the place to understand or overstand the scriptures. And now the time has come, because we have come into the end of the age, and now the ancestors has been revealing these things to us.
Now, would you tell us a little bit about this? Give us some insight to what you're talking about.
Okay. For instance, when you read the book of Genesis, from the creation according to the story of Adam and Eve and their children, coming down to Noah's children, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, you see that even one of his sons, who was called Canaan, we see where the European or the Caucasian, when they wrote the Bible, we see where they started condemning the black man. When it says that Cain killed Abel, and then he was cursed. Cain was cursed for looking on his father's nakedness. And that was where the Europeans find a way to look down upon us and to put us into slavery or into bondage.
Go ahead.
So now, also in the book of Genesis, come down to Abraham, we see where God had already promised through Adam by giving them their land, or their promised land. And Abraham took it up when God said to him, wherever you go, wherever your foot stands upon, I'm going to give you that land. So Abraham, as an Abrahamic nation of people, because Abraham actually never existed. It's all stories that was given to us by the Europeans or the Caucasians to make us believe that there was a Garden of Eden, and there was Noah and the ark and all these stories. So Abraham never existed, but it was a people who came from Europe who wanted a promised land and created the Bible story, because they knew that they were going to divide the land of Africa amongst themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And as you know of the Balfour meeting that they had in Berlin, when they were going to divide Africa. So all those scriptures are in the Bible, and it referenced to what the Europeans was about to do. So we find in the 1700s, when they came together and they went into Africa and they colonized Africa, and all of them chopped up a portion for themselves.
Yes.
And today we as a people, we are in bondage. We are their servants. Okay? Now, going back to Genesis chapter 30, I think, and 35, speaking of the story of Jacob and Esau, we are going to see where, when Jacob asked his father, and in fact his mom said to him, your father is going to die very soon, and you need to deceive your father by finding a way to get the blessing that he's about to give. So the mother and the youngest son, they came to a point where they deceived the father, where she said, go and get some meat for your father. That's what he asked your older brother for. So the mother told the younger son to go to the garden and bring the meat for your father so you can receive the blessings. So the younger son went to the garden. He came back with the meat and gave it to the father. And the father ate, and after he ate the meat, he said, son, I'm going to bless you. So he blessed the youngest son through deceit by the mother and the youngest son. So then the oldest son or the eldest son was obedient to his father by going to the field and bringing back the meat for his dad to eat. So when he came and he gave the father the meat, the father says, son, what's the matter with you? I just ate already. Didn't you just fed me? He said, no, daddy, it wasn't me. So the father said to the son, son, someone deceived me. Someone deceived me. So the son says, daddy, do you have any more blessing for me? Please. He started crying. Do you have any more blessing? The father said, he said, no, son, I have no more blessing for you. So then the end result was the father said, get away from the blessings of heaven. Get away from the dew of heaven. Get away from the riches of the earth. Everything that the earth produces, the material, the riches, everything, get away from it. It belongs to your brother, and you will serve your brother. So what has happened to us as an African people with such a vast continent? The Europeans divided it through deceit, and they have taken all the riches of Africa and left us out. That was the recording of the Bible I'm giving you right now. It's a story. Jacob and Esau never existed. It was a story of what they was about to do. And they have done it.
Yes. Okay, so from the beginning, Jacob and his mother, because the mother told Jacob to rub the smell of the venison on him so that
right.
when he go to his father would think that it was his brother Esau, because Esau was really the oldest child. Am I correct?
You're correct.
And so Esau was supposed to have gotten the blessing, but
yes.
the mother and the younger brother deceived the father, who was Abraham. Am I correct?
It's Isaac.
Oh, it was Isaac.
Yes.
And they deceived Isaac and stole the blessing from the black man. And you're saying that it never happened, but it's the way the Europeans wrote it, so they would justify doing to the black man, stealing his right and his heritage through the Bible. So when they write this in the Bible and you read it, you accept it, that that this is the way it's
the word of God.
So continue, Freddie. I understand what you're saying. Is there any more examples like that throughout the Bible?
Yes, and right now, what's happening right now is that the black man and the black woman. First of all, the woman must be acknowledged. The woman must be acknowledged. So, in the scriptures, we see where the black man and the black woman as a family unit. If you see the way that the black people have been operating in this world, in this society today, we are people who have actually lost our mind by the things we do, the things we believe, the things we accept through the Bible. So the story in the book of Daniel, we see where Nebuchadnezzar, as a great empire, a great kingdom, which is the kingdom of Africa, Kemet, the capital, or Egypt, as they say. It was a thriving nation, a thriving people in invention, in everything, in science, and all what you have today. And we see where Nebuchadnezzar, one night he had a dream, and he went and he said to the wise men that he brought before him, he said, I had a dream last night. I can't remember the dream. And I would like for you guys to interpret the dream for me. So the outcome of that dream was that Nebuchadnezzar would be cast out of his kingdom and be cast into the field amongst the animals. And it says, and 7 times would pass upon him. So Nebuchadnezzar was cast into the field and he lost his mind as a nation, as a people, a kingdom. And whilst he was in the field, it said 7 times pass upon him. And Nebuchadnezzar said, while I was in the field, he said, I look up into the heavens, or he looked within himself and found the answer. And he said, God ruleth from the heavens to the earth and does whatever he pleases to do. And he said he gave the basis of mankind to rule, the basis of mankind to rule. So who is ruling over us today? The lowest of a people. The lowest of a people or nation is ruling over the African people. And we have lost our mind like Nebuchadnezzar, but Nebuchadnezzar realized what was going on, and he said, and he looked up into the heavens, and he remembered that the God of heaven do rule. So he said his mind was restored back unto him, and he was restored back into his kingdom and to be with his people. So the black man on a whole and the black woman and child or children, we had lost our mind for the past 6,000 years. And 7 times passed upon Nebuchadnezzar. So we know now that the Europeans or the Caucasian have had 6,000 years to rule the planet. And now we are entering into the 7,000 years. The time for the black man to stand and look within himself and find the answer that he needs. Because no one will come to restore him. He has to restore himself.
Now, are you saying that the white man wrote the story knowing that he could manifest his evil among the black people, and he kind of laid out a blueprint that he would follow to make sure that the black man was descendant to the lowest realms and that he could control his mind? So he's doing that through the Bible and through Christianity. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying that, and I have the authority to say that too, because everyone has initiated themselves by writing the Bible, by creating different stories and giving different names to Africa, different parts of Africa. So we have the right to initiate ourselves, to create names and do certain things that we need to do. For instance, not a matter of jumping from what we're saying. For instance, those of whom the ancestors have sent, or the gods have sent, the creator, like Malcolm X, Dr. King, Medgar Evers, and Marcus Garvey. All these people that have been sent here to us, for us to help us. Right now, they are in a position that we need to put them as, for instance, you know, you have St. Mary, St. Mark, St. James. So for me, I can call Malcolm St. James, or Saint Malcolm, Dr. King, Saint Martin Luther King. You understand? So this is where we are today. We are at a place where the black man, his mind is being restored. For instance, from Nebuchadnezzar's mind being restored. You go to the New Testament and you will see where Jesus actually meeting the man who was possessed with demons. And he was possessed with demons, and the Bible says, and many times he was in shackles, and sometimes he burst the shackles asunder. And that's what we have to do today. We have to burst the shackles that is upon our, not just in our head, our necks, but in our brains, in our minds. And Jesus, when he met the man at the tomb who was possessed for many years, the Bible says he cast out that spirit from that man. And when that spirit was cast out of that man, the man was found at Jesus' feet, clothed in his right mind. You see? He was clothed in his right mind. So we are a people really and truly who've been possessed. That's why we do the things that we do. That is not natural. We believe many things. For instance, the laws of the universe advises us that self-preservation is the key to life. And we as the people, we have forgotten about these laws and principles. The animals does it, the mother hen does it, everything does it except the black man. Thank you. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted you to give more examples, because you're telling me that the Bible, written by the white man, it is not true. It's stories that are made up by him. But wouldn't it take a kind of a genius to write that future and it comes to pass just the way he kind of wrote it? Explain more or less what's going on.
Well, you see, you have to remember, these people, what they did when they went into Kemet, when they went into Africa, they studied us. We taught them everything that they knew, that they know. They understood who we were. You understand? So they knew exactly what to do to us to get us into a position where we would lose our estate, where we would fall from our position. So they actually receive instruction by some of the priests, some of the people who actually gave them information, because you know our people was not supposed to give them any information. In fact, sometimes I've heard that all these nations, they came from us, because of us why they're here. And I'm not gonna say no, but the heart and mind that these people have, it is so evil. They don't care about the Creator, they don't care about God, they don't care about you or me. So they study everything about the black man and the black woman. So they came into Africa and they study us, and eventually they decided to flip the script around. They were supposed to be servants to us. According to the book of Joel, it says that slaves rule over us. He said, I saw slaves riding, and I saw princes walking. Today, we are the slaves, and they are riding. Today, they are the guards of the planet, and we are the lesser one. So they've created all that. For instance, again, Job in the Bible never existed. But we see where the Bible says there was a time, there was a man from the east whose name was Job, and his sons had a birthday party. And it says while they were there, it said that Satan said to God, have you chosen this guy? He said, just look, I will cause him to curse you because you've given him everything. Did not the Creator give us as an African nation of people everything? We have everything that we needed in Africa. The gold, the diamond, the foods and everything, the science, everything we had. And Satan said, just give me a chance. And let me just take this thing away from them, or from Job, and see if he's not going to curse you to your face. And it says that eventually all the nations, after the birthday party that Job had, all the nations came and they took everything that Job had. And Job never gave up. And his wife said to him, will you still hold on to your words with God? Why don't you curse God and die? Look at us today as a people. Everything is taken away from us, and yet still we are still happy in our struggle. We are still vibrant. We are still thankful to God. We still join church. We still go to church and dance and sing. That is the story of Job, meaning that is us as a people. This story pertains to us, not anyone else. And also, in the book of Lamentation, it said, come and see all you nations who pass by, and see if there is any suffering like my suffering that has done unto me. There is not a nation on the planet that suffers like the black man and the black woman. Have you seen the Chinese government, the Russian government, the British government? Have you seen any nation stand up or stood up for the black man and say to America or say to everyone that have oppressed us and that is oppressing us right now, say, why are you doing that to these people? Don't do it. No one has come to our rescue. So in the book of Lamentation, chapter 1, it says that, but in as much as we have looked to everyone to help us, to set us free, to give us liberation, it says that he looked to himself, and with his own arms, he found salvation, which means we have to deliver ourselves. No one is not going to come to the rescue of the black man and the black woman.
Let me ask you this, Freddie. Taking some of these symbols that you have been able to deduce from even pie pans, pictures where the Creator is showing you that the ancient of days, our ancestors are coming back in mysterious ways to let everybody know that it is our time, we're returning. And can you talk about how that came about and some of the things that you have seen? And well, you didn't draw them, they was already there, but you have made pictures of them in terms of blowing them up and showing them to people. Talk about that. How did it begin, and where are you with it now? And how can people get to see some of this stuff and own it?
Yes. First of all, I would like to say that from growing up, I just want to give a brief description of who I am so people would know, to explain how this come about. I was living in the Virgin Islands, and one night, it was on a Saturday morning, and while I was asleep, a voice called me by my name, and the voice said, Freddie. And I got up to see who was speaking to me, and there was no one. And from there, I heard that I'm supposed to go to the United States to receive something that I had no knowledge of at the time. And I was obedient by coming to the United States. I came to Atlanta, Georgia, being obedient to the ancestors. And I got a job at a restaurant, a certain restaurant. And whilst working at the restaurant, I started as a dishwasher, started washing the baking pans and pots. And whilst washing the pots and the pans, I started seeing manipulation of cake mix of African features that was being formed from the cake mix. And I was told also to take pictures of what was being sent. And I kept taking pictures, and the owners of the restaurant started watching me on the cameras. And eventually it came to the point that they came and asked me what was I seeing. And I said that I was seeing things, and they started laughing. So I started taking pictures of what I was seeing, and then eventually things changed. I started actually seeing images that was being engraved in the baking pan itself. And the reason why that was able to happen is because aluminum is a conductor from the crust of the earth. So aluminum is capable of receiving information from the various dimensions. And the images came from infinity. And the ancestors are so powerful, they are so great, that they're capable of sending or transmitting this information in the baking pans. And it was shown to me how I was supposed to develop the images that were sent. I won't give the actual way how I have been doing it, but I'm just explaining the way it happened. I would actually take pictures of the images, and the images was actually vague. There was like a cloud over the images, so that the people who was working in there could not see the images, but I was able to see the images. And I was able to actually take the pictures of the images and then blow them up. So right now, all of the images are very important, but one of the images that I have of the baking pan that I have, there's a man and a very strange looking woman who appear in the baking pan. And she seems to be the mother of the universe. And in her body, she has thousands and hundreds of melanated people, black people, in her body. And behind her is a gentleman with a long hat on his head. As you would notice, the Catholic Church, the bishops and the priests, they wear the long hat on their head. They copy all this from our story. So right now, what is happening? Our ancestors, they are back. They've never left. They are here. And they are manifesting themselves in many ways. And many people, I'm not the only one who is seeing manifestations of the ancestors, but many people are seeing through water, in the clouds, in everything, in iron, in wood, in trees. They're manifesting themselves. So we have to come to the place where we acknowledge them. We acknowledge our ancestors, that they exist, because it's because of them why we are who we are.
Freddie, did you
Yes.
bring any of those pictures so you can show them?
Well, our mother has she has the images with her, so perhaps she might be. Mama Moses has some of the pictures, so perhaps she can put some of them up.
Oh, Sister Moshe. Sister Moshe?
Yes, I'm unable to do that because I'm not with my computer.
Okay, well, I have a few images I can show you. And this is a book that we put together concerning the art or the images If you could look, you could see the image right here of the mother. This is the image of one of the pictures in the baking pan.
Yes. Okay.
And there are many more. For instance, right here, you can see this took place in one of the baking pan. I did not draw this. This happened. It's a phenomenon that happened.
Mm.
It's a woman and she's looking up to the hand.
Mm-hmm.
So eventually what I would like to do is to have a display, put all of these baking pans on a display so people can come and see for themselves what the ancestors have sent. It is a phenomenon that is beyond our comprehension, but we have to accept that we are not alone in this universe.
I understand. Is there, Freddie, anything you would like to relate to our people that either in the time that it is, our time, the Creator is manifesting a reality beyond what we generally think of as natural phenomenon, but the ancestors are here with us in ways that we were not conscious of, but we are becoming conscious of, and so it is our time. So how do we internalize this energy and make it work for us as a people?
First of all, we need to come to the place where we look within ourselves, search ourselves, look within, because within us is that great spirit. And all we have to do is to manifest that love. We must first begin to love self, love self, love our own, care for our own first. Because if we cannot care for our own and love ourselves, no one is going to do it for us. Everything must begin from within. And as we are able to manifest that love, within that love is everything that we ever think that we need and that we want. And now, as we have come into the age of Aquarius, the universe is revealing everything to us as individuals. And things that we could not understand before, we are sensing energies that is moving throughout us, within and without. But within us, there is that knowing, that spirit that knows all things, and it's been manifest within us, and we are moving. Things is taking place right now. There are many people that I've spoken to who are speaking of things that they've never spoken of before. Many people are speaking about the universe. Things is taking place. The universe is speaking to me. The universe is doing that. But in the Bible says that don't worry about those who speak about the universe and of the ancestry. Be aware of those. And this is what's happening today. The manifestation of Dr. King and Malcolm X, they're speaking to us not just about materialistic things, but of spiritual things, our spiritual life, to build our spiritual life up, and not just sit back and just wait for people to help us or anyone to come to our rescue.
I mean, Freddie, I hear what you say, and I understand it. And when you talk about going within, and all that we need is within, I started thinking about healing. And when we go within, and we are guided about what to eat and how to think, in terms of healing and all of this can take a new dimension when we begin to tie in and walk the path that you're talking about. So we can go from, and it starts with self healing. Um, I mean, we might have to study the herbs and plants, but if we go within and really let the creators guide us, because I know Roxanne, she's quiet and she ain't said anything, but I know she is a herbalist, and I know she has guided you and brought you into a healing that was almost impossible before.
Yes.
But that feminine energy sitting beside you has worked miracles. And
Yes.
I appreciate her. I appreciate what how she has taken care of you and brought you back to health, or guided you back to health. And also, I would like to hear her talk a little bit about the internal healing, and maybe not directly some of the things that she did to help you in healing, but to help us as a people in healing ourselves. Roxanne,
Hi, Brother Brown.
how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm okay. Blessings to you all. Um, Healing comes from within the mind. Um, it's a discipline you have to develop. You have to discipline your mind in order to have control of yourself. Um, and disciplining your mind, you have control on what you eat. You get to know what is good for your body. And because, as Freddie said, uh, the Bible says we were equally made. What is that? We're all equally made.
In the image of God.
Yes, and in the image of God. But there are some things that we as uh, Black people can eat that wouldn't affect our body in a negative way. It would affect it would uh, heal our body, and it would uh, instead of damaging our body, it will uh, help us mentally and physically. And there are other things that other people can eat, like other races can eat, that we're not supposed to be eating. It wasn't made for us to eat. We're not supposed to be eating meat. Um, and there are foods that we supposed to eat that are good for our blood type. Uh, there are things that we can use if you're not feeling well, if you have pains in your body. Um, Most disease is from inflammation, things that you eat. And it's things that you eat cause inflammation in your body, mucus in your body. You can get rid of mucus by cleansing your body, detoxing your body. There are things, herbs that you can use because herbs are from God. They're from the earth. Man didn't make that. Um, there are things that you can use to even though when we were all growing up, we eat all sorts of food, different foods we eat, things that wasn't right for our body, we can reverse it. Any disease, any illness, our bodies were made with something called T cells to fight any disease, any illness in our bodies. But we damage those T cells by putting poison in our body, by eating fries, eating chemical foods, processed foods, sausage, and all these foods. They're not good for our bodies. Too much sugar is not good. Too much of anything isn't good for our body. We use everything in moderation. So we just have to know how to discipline ourselves, discipline our mind in terms of what we put in our mouth, what we eat. Simple breathing. The air that we breathe, there are toxins out there. That is why it is always good to detox your body. There are things out there you can drink. There's turmeric that you can use to detox your body, but you use everything in moderation. Freddie wasn't well. Freddie was very sick. He had pains all over his body. When I came, I realized it's because of what he was eating. And I knew it was inflammation, and I told him, I said, that is mucus. It is mucus that is causing the pain. I started to work on it. And Freddie is 98% better. We have to continue the journey to help one another, share knowledge of what we know, and help one another. So that's my part. Yes. Thank you.
Well, Brother Brown,
Yes, Freddie.
yes, I can say thanks to the Most High and thanks to Roxanne because she really helped me a whole lot. Because my brother had just died about a year and a half ago from cancer in his bones. And with what I was feeling in my body, let me tell you, I try not to let fear take over my mind. But the pain I was feeling, once Roxanne came and she started giving me this medicine, today I can say thank God that I kept drinking that bush tea, that medication, and
The herbs.
And it did me very, very well. So anyone out there who has cancer, any disease, I'm telling them that they can be healed.
Of course.
Because
yes.
your body has what it takes to be healed, but you must also listen to nature.
Mm-hmm.
Even the animals eat grass. The dogs eat certain grass when they're feeling sick.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to learn to do the very same thing.
So putting all these medications in our bodies. Mm-hmm.
So it's a holistic thing. Spirituality with our physical makeup and everything. It is a whole makeup. Everything is one. One cannot do without the other. You cannot be so spiritual that you know earthly good. You can't take care of your body. Your body is that beautiful temple that the Most High gave you.
Oh yes. Mm-hmm.
It is the most beautiful vehicle, and we must love it and appreciate it, and it will appreciate us. With all the healings we talk about, I am not denying healings. Healings do happen because I can tell you, as one who has witnessed for myself, I was an epileptic. I used to have seizures when I was about 15 years old. And the same ancestors from that time on spoke to me when I was getting sick. And a voice called me one day when I was being attacked with the seizures. And the voice said, don't you call your mommy and daddy anymore. Ask God to heal you. So when I turned around to see who was speaking to me, there was no one. I called on that God, whoever she was, they were, and I got healed. From since I was 15, now I am 60 years old, I have never had one seizure. So I've been made whole ever since. So I know for a fact that the ancestors are alive and well, and they do listen to you. You just have to be aware of them and give thanks. Amen.
Freddie, this is the last question I ask you, and I want you to take your time and give answer. But you know, we are encouraged to take vaccines and all of these different things. But if I listen at you and Roxanne, you're saying that the best healing is from our ancestors or from the creation itself through us. And just what do you think is happening right now with us as a people and with the people on the earth? Why are we suffering from these diseases? I mean, just from a spiritual perspective, if you have an inside view, an inside maybe knowledge that the Creator has given you as to what is happening to humanity at this time and why.
Okay, for instance, we see also in the book that was given to us, which is the Bible, it says, why do the heathens rage? Why do have the heathens rage and the people imagine a vain thing, and the kings of the earth themselves rise up, set themselves against the heavens? So what's happening now? The ones who are in control of the planet, so-called, they have no respect for the Creator and for life. And the only devil I see out there, I see no devils with horns destroying our planet. I see no demons running all over the place, making people afraid. But what I see is actual mankind going around, destroying the earth, destroying lives, because they have no soul. They are soulless. Had they have a soul, they would have not done this thing. So those are the only evils I'm seeing. So the Creator of the universe made us perfect, give us everything in our bodies that it needs to fight disease and
we were born
sicknesses.
with our doctors in our bodies. The doctors are called T cells. The T cells are the cells that fight disease in your body. But because of the foods that they're making out there, they're injecting these chicken with with a lot of antibiotics, different hormones. It changes and it damages the T cells. So when you get sick, you have to run to them. You have to run to the practitioners. And what they do, they practice on you, because that is what they are, practitioners. And you don't know better. They give you painkillers for pain to suppress the pain, because they were practiced to do that. They wouldn't give you things, and they tell you to. They would never guarantee you that this will work, because they don't know. They're just practicing. They wouldn't tell you stop eating certain foods that is causing this disease or that is causing the pain. Instead of that, they will keep giving you stuff that would suppress the pain and damage your organs. So you will keep running back to them. And that is how the world is going. That's how they make money off of our lives. So we have to use wisdom. God gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. We have to use it. We have to start getting down with the herbs and stop going for all these medications that messing up your organs. You take medication for pain and you want to know why your foot's swelling, because it's damaging your kidneys. So it's suppressing the pain and it damages your kidney. Then later on they say, well, you had an underlying kidney disease and a kidney failure. They'll never tell you it's because of the medication. Let's be wise Uh, be careful of what we put in our mouth and make wise choices. Use a lot of herbs. There are things that we can use that are not expensive, that can keep pain out of our bodies. Simple ginger, nutmeg, turmeric, eat garlic every now and again, clove. Use everything in moderation. They're from the earth. They're not man-made. They're from the earth. They're plant-based foods. They're plants.
So we are not actually telling people to not take any vaccine.
Yeah.
We are not saying that.
No.
Everyone has a choice to take whatever they want to take.
Mhm.
But as for us, as for me, I am saying that the Creator gave us a body and we must take care of it the best way we can.
Yes.
Sister Moshe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okie dokie. I want to thank you for setting this program up and for making the trailer and everything. But if you have some comments that you would like to make, any questions you would like to ask Roxanne and Freddie, please do.
Okay, well, first and foremost, thank you all for being present, being led by the Spirit in such a time as this, to bring forth your light in the midst of darkness, being in alignment with the paradigm shift, that we reestablish our divine essence as the light bearers, and that we realize that we don't have to look to the system nor any religion, to validate what we already recognize by being communication with the ancestor and the divine spirit. Currently, the reason why I'm not talking much is because all of a sudden, I am starting to have these allergies, hay fever, and everything, and I was born with these type of issues, but I haven't had it in 7 years. And I just come back from South Carolina, where I'm exposed to the salt water and the beaches and the sand, and I come back here to Atlanta, Georgia, and now I having these allergy issues. So I'll discuss that offline. But in reference to what Brother Freddie and Sister has been speaking about today, I am a witness that you don't need a church or a mosque nor a temple to have divine communication with the Spirit. Once we truly recognize, if we recognize the Spirit is omnipresent, then that means we do not have to leave from the spot where we are. All we have to do is utilize our mind of acceptance in alignment with our desire to be in communication. And sometimes, even if you don't know, the ancestors recognize that all of us came here with a gift to contribute to the reestablishment of our divine order, especially in such a time as this when it comes to the matrilineal, matriarchal, divine feminine spirit. Because woman as the representation of wisdom, no matter when it comes time to for a war or any opposition, you must utilize wisdom in order to make strategic plans.
Yeah.
Strategic planning comes from acknowledging there's a participation and there's a time for observation. At the time that we have been spending in captivity, and some of us have been awakened early so we can be a beacon of light, not to teach, but bring things back to everyone's remembrance. because none of us actually came here in a dumbfounded way. Because if our ancestors who were wise and knowledgeable and powerful are still living through our blood and through our DNA, then that wisdom, that knowledge, that insight, that foresight, that power is already within us. So just like when I used to be an electrician, when I used to install fixtures, I can put in all the light bulbs and fixtures and everything, but until I connect it to that power and throw that switch to ignite it so that fixture can shine, it does no good. So
True.
each one of us has a spark within us. When we make divine connections, we can utilize that spark. And some of us water, some of us plant. But according to the person who is the receptor, they will receive their increase. So I'm grateful to have a platform, a discussion of the spirituality, because even scholars and well, any perspective of trying to bring forth a unity to come out of the current lockdown that we're in when it comes to money, religion, and politics, there has to be a recognition of spirituality, because what's impossible for man is only going to be possible through the spirit. But yet at the same time, we have to be that open vessel to be the recipients of it and not look to will basically recognize that we are the ones who is going to make that change, and we don't have to wait on everyone to be in alignment. Because if it only took one, as they have spoken in the Bible, that woman was the one who brought sin into the world. And even that same book says that the serpent is going to be wroth with the woman. So we recognize if woman is the one who's responsible bringing sin into the world, then only a woman can take it out. So,
Amen. Yes, I agree with you.
so I
Okay.
mean, let's keeping it real. So, in the substitution of they calling justice a woman, but yet they are full of injustice because of their policies. They call the church a woman, but yet they're full of indoctrination because they're trying to substitute the value and the significance and the relevance of the divine feminine of the mothers who brought forth life into this world, who actually gives birth to the nations. And when the nations fall, then only she can rise them up. So it's time for us to recognize the substitutes are no longer going to be tolerated. It is now time for the elevation of the divine feminine woman, and then the unfolding of the lotus flower within itself is going to be a confirmation that this is true. So I welcome you, I thank you, and I'm looking forward to you all coming back and we continue to build and allow us to be an example of what spirituality is. And with that, I'm complete, and I'm gonna look to the chat room and see if anybody has any questions before we close.
Okay. No, that sounds good to me. Please do that.
The sound gone off.
Baba, you are muted.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh, thank you.
yes. So if
All right.
anybody has any questions for the panel, place them in the chat room now, and Baba, you continue until I can see um a comment. I mean a question.
No, I think the information brought today is conscious raising. And when you raise your consciousness, then you raise your inner wisdom. If it's consciousness to how you're one with the universe and how the universe gives you all energy to do what it is that we have to do. So I see you have, can you read it? Because I don't have it.
Yes. We have a question to, I believe, Roxanne, by Brian AB. He says, "What is the process for detoxing my kidneys, and what is a process for detoxing multiple organs, including the kidneys?"
Roxanne,
Oh, okay.
a lot of times before you answer this, I would just like for you to go ahead and give a an acknowledgement that we are not a medical association or anything like that,
Oh,
but
yes.
our ancestors, um, our mothers and grandmothers and so forth, have used these herbs and methods, and they were successful. So we're giving you information that comes from right there on the farm.
Yeah.
That our people use both here in Jamaica and the islands and all those, but they knew about the herbs and the foods and how to grow them, and that's the way we ate. So please go ahead. I just wanted to throw that out there, so nobody want to say that you're trying to practice medicine. But
Oh,
we know what that we are talking about, what heals us.
oh, yes. Okay, to answer the question, Brian, and to everyone else listening, we're not, or I am not a medical doctor, never studied medicine, uh, but the knowledge I have from my grandmother, who was a herbalist, who healed a lot of people back home in my home country, uh, I'm a living witness. And I can testify through my fiance, Freddie, um, to detoxify the whole body. A very good herb to detoxify the body is turmeric. If you cannot get the root, the turmeric root, but turmeric it grows in the earth. It's like ginger. If you cannot get the root, you get a herbal, the powder form. For turmeric to be observed in the body, you have to use it with a spice. Use it, put black pepper. You can either put a little turmeric, cayenne pepper in it also, and you drink it. The powder, you put like half teaspoon to a pint and a half cup water, and a little bit of black pepper. You can detox the body with turmeric and black pepper. The whole body, including the liver. My advice to you is to stop eating meat and processed foods. Stop eating too much sugar. That is what is messing up your liver. Go strictly on herbs. Eat a lot of plant-based foods. Okay, that's my take on that.
That's it, Brother Brown.
Okay. Is there one more, Moshe?
Yes, we have about 4 more. Currently, we have one by Joseph 3997. He says, "Is it possible to regrow a removed prostate?"
Is it possible to grow a removed prostate?
Yes.
Well, to my knowledge, it would take a miracle.
You need to remove the prostate.
No, if a prostate has been removed
Mhm.
for it to grow back again, I'm saying it will take a miracle.
Mhm.
That's the reason why we ought to take care of our bodies before it gets into a condition where it's of no return. Because if you take care of your body will take care of you. It's like eating a lot of sugar, and then the doctor amputates your leg, and then thinking that your leg is gonna grow. You have to believe. You'll have to have a lot of faith.
Mm.
Okay, so Red Rose, she says, what's the herb tea you were referring to that helped your partner?
What helped me was actually turmeric with black pepper. I would actually fill up a flask of hot water, and I would put the turmeric in the flask of hot water with the cayenne pepper.
How
And
much?
the black,
How much turmeric?
like
About
half a teaspoon to like a pint and a half of water, and
Okay.
let it draw.
and you can drink it every day, every night, and during the day.
And stop eating
Should you
meat
put
and
garlic in
processed
there?
food.
Yes, you can also put garlic in there too.
Mhm. Not too much. Remember, you don't want to put too much of stuff in your body at once, because when you put too much things that your body not accustomed to, you can get sick, and you will get sick because you're introducing something, a new element to the body.
and it
So
all
you have to be careful.
and it all takes time. For me, I'm telling you, I am so thankful. I could hardly walk. My hip was in pain. My waist, I was in pain,
And it
and
was all because of mucus
all because of mucus.
that
And
they wouldn't tell you. The doctors wouldn't tell you it's mucus.
so
All you have to do is get rid of the mucus, the inflammation in your body. At the same time, you clean your bloodstream. Simple things can clean your bloodstream. Garlic. But whenever you're using garlic, for it to go straight to your bloodstream, use it with a little honey. That kills any bacteria in your bloodstream so the oxygen can flow through your bloodstream.
Oh,
Yes,
okay,
good things. One more. We have Zadiah. She says, he or she, forgive me. How can I keep in contact with you all on the panel? I'm a subscriber to this channel. And what may I use for HBP? I'm using soursop and leaf and capsule forms. And I know some knowledge and studying herbs. So let us deal with how they can get in touch with you first so I can put it in the chat.
Brother Brown. Give,
yes.
give
through through Brother Brown.
Brother Brown. Yes. Give,
Okay, so Baba, you want me to put your email?
Um. Yes. 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 Please. And
Okay,
I can forward that on to Roxanne.
okay, hold on. Let me no, let me delete this one. And then create. This is the one opt online, right?
Yes.
Tapvideo at opt online.
.net. Tap video at oponline.net.
Okay.
Meanwhile, we're over our time, so we're gonna put the email up there. And again, I want to thank Freddie and Roxanne for being our guests.
Thank
Uh,
you, thank you.
thank you. We
you've been
appreciate it.
wonderful and marvelous. Okay, brothers and sisters, well, we're gonna go down. Good.